Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever this great world you might be. My name is Jack Branch, and this is the Healthy Well Show, episode number 22. Very excited today to talk to a friend of mine. Actually, we met through the internet. Sounds kind of creepy or weird when you say that, but it's actually quite an interesting story. A few years back, I started noticing this guy on a digital platform called Periscope, which probably many of you aren't necessarily as aware of as like Facebook, but this guy was doing some amazing just value. And I started following him and stalking him a little bit, and then moved over to Facebook when that platform didn't seem to really continue. And then we moved on from that, and he's helped me develop a new website and making me think outside the box from a standpoint of digital marketing. So without further ado, I want to introduce a good friend of mine from the Ohio area, my friend Ken Walls. How are you, Ken?
I'm doing great, Jack. I appreciate you having me on, man. This is weird. I'm not used to being on this side of
I know.
No, I appreciate it, man. I'm doing great.
Well, I appreciate you. You know, Ken's actually the one that encouraged me to actually begin this show, and he challenged me to do 5 days a week. And I'm like, look, let me walk before I run. He's got a show that he does every day called Breakthrough Walls, really helping entrepreneurs and business people kind of get out of their own way. And what's been kind of your experience, Ken, in doing the show that you've learned the most about, as well as most business and entrepreneurs that really can't get through some of the walls in their life?
You know, I think for me, it's been and if I could, I've thought about this a lot. I have no idea what prompted me to start this show, except for I was talking to my wife about it, and I'm like, I think I should just start a daily show. I had a show for a few months on Grant Cardone TV on his network, right? And I was like, man, I should just start a show and start putting out some content and interview some people. And I'm friends with Jeffrey Gitomer and his fiance. They were the first two guests, and I don't know, I just kept going, man. I kept going. I've interviewed over 160 people now, you being one of them. And it's been really cool. What I have learned is people are really hungry for knowledge. People are really, really hungry for knowledge and for hope. And I've noticed that, cause you and I have had some long, deep conversations about stuff. And, people, we see these celebrities like Grant Cardone or Sharon was just on Actors Podcast, or, all these different people. And we look at them and we think, man, it's just always been easy for them. They've not had any, but you know what I mean? Cause we get a little glimpse of somebody's life, right? On a live stream or a podcast or whatever. And there's one common thread that runs through every single successful person that I've met. And success, meaning truly happy. Maybe there's some financial wealth in there, but just truly happy people. And that is, they've had the crap kicked out of them. I mean, they've been hit hard. And I've noticed that's pretty common among most people that have really made it. They've just pushed through it.
Everybody sees, where they are now. They don't see the bumps and bruises along the way. Nobody would sign up for that version of success that most people, as you've mentioned, have been through. And
yeah,
it's interesting. So tell the audience a little bit, about CSI, how you started it, when you started it, and really what you've seen change so much in the last decade of digital marketing and some of the faux pas that you see people doing in that space.
Well, I, as you know, and I'm pretty transparent about it. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and I have 16 and a half years sober, and by the grace of God, and I do mean that. But I I've always messed around on computers. Like I had a Commodore 64C when I was 11 years old. And I just started writing code. I don't know. I became obsessed with like figuring it out, right? And watch take 3 days to make a ball blip around on the screen. And it was like crazy stuff. But, and I've always loved in 1994, I built a website for my business that I had and I've just always loved doing that stuff. And then in 2002 is when I got sober and I literally couldn't find my rear end with both hands and a flashlight. And I was like, I don't know what, I got to make money. I was really unemployable and I had lost everything. And a friend of mine said his wife needed help with her website. She's a realtor. And I said, okay, well, I can help her for sure. And I literally, she was being held hostage by these guys. And I took the site away from them and put it on her own server and did all this stuff. She paid me a big chunk of money. And I was like, no, I can't. I was staying at their house because I was pretty much homeless. I said, I can't take this money. She said, you just saved me $10,000. You're going to take it. And I was like, wow, just blew me away. And so I thought then, wow, that was fun. I helped somebody out. I made some money and I thought, well, there's got to be more people that need help with this. I wasn't a professional. I just knew a lot about it. I'd been doing it for so long. And then I get a Mercedes-Benz dealership that had no website back in '02. And dude, things just started progressing from there. It was insane. And, so I say I accidentally got into the business of developing websites. And man, it has changed so much, so many times over the last 16, 17 years. It's changed so much. And I've been through the whole, the WordPress days, and there's still a lot of people building WordPress websites, but I try to stay away from them because they're just not, they're so vulnerable for attacks. And anyway, so I've seen all kinds of shifts in technology over the last 17 years. And I'm constantly trying to keep up with that too. So, I don't know if I answered your question, but I kind of accidentally got into it. I learned search engine optimization years ago, and then Google changed everything 3 years ago. And it was like, I went from $100,000 a month in recurring revenue to like not even close to that overnight. And I was like, oh God, I'm losing everything again. Like it was crazy, man.
Yeah, the only thing certain is change, right? I mean, it's like every time you turn around, the analytics, the logarithms are all moving. But one thing that isn't changing that you really see is being authentic, right? I mean, I think you can't fake that. I mean, people. That's why Grant has drawn in a lot of people. That's why you draw in a lot of people and others is. Are you authentically communicating and connecting with people at a deep level?
Right.
And in this digital age, I mean, there's a lot of things vying for our attention. Excuse me. But you can tell the difference between truth and false. I mean, your gut will tell you this person's authentic, they're genuine. And just you sharing about being a recovering alcoholic. I mean, that's being vulnerable, right? And so many people act like they got it all together and have figured it all out. But even this morning, there was a young physical therapist that I met with, and I say young, he's my age, so I call that young.
That's young. You're still very youthful, Jack.
It was fascinating because I got into some stuff he was doing online, and we met and we talked about it. And here he's got some grandiose ideas about how to expand this on a larger basis. So what kind of businesses do you work best with, Ken? And, so for the viewers out there, who are you trying to deal with? I know anybody that's wanting to make more profits, but any particular industries you work best in?
What's weird is I'm really connected to the car business for some reason, and I have no idea why. But because I do some websites for different industry leaders and stuff in the automotive space. But Jack, honestly, it's I can work with just about anybody. I'm not cheap, as you know, you're a client of mine. I'm not the cheapest guy in town, but I think we're very reasonably priced, and I mean, we know how to create websites that make a difference, and I also, the other thing that I like to do is I don't, because anybody can build a website, right? And there's Wix out there. You can build your own templates. You can you can use their templates if you want, whatever. But like what I do, excuse me, what I do is I go deeper. Like I go like, okay, you can have a website and spend $10,000 on your website, but if it's not, if it's just sitting there and you're not doing anything with it, then you literally just waste. That's like buying a car and parking it in the garage and never driving it. What's the point, right? Yeah. So if you're not doing something with your website, you're not driving traffic, you're not doing like what you're doing right now. Right. Like I told you, I said, dude, you need to do a show. You got a lot of wisdom to share with people. Right. Doing things like this where you're going live on Facebook. I always see you going live in your truck. And by the way, y'all, I've been in his truck and wow, man, it ain't no damn joke. I ain't even playing. Like this truck, I was like, dude, I need a step ladder just to get up in this thing.
My midlife crisis, was a 20-year-old truck. So what is CSI and Ken Wall's unique proposition? What do you guys do better than most anyone else if you had to boil it down to that singular item that says, yes, I got to think of Ken and I got to think of CSI?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. I have 30 years experience in being an entrepreneur. So, we make sure the market is there. My wife was the global vice president of marketing for a couple of different $500 million plus a year companies. So she knows marketing. Like she's like the Rain Man. I can't even have conversations with her about it sometimes because it's so far over my head. But so she goes in and really makes sure that the design is right, that it's eye catching, that it's, the message is correct as well. But the biggest thing that I do is I help people strategize not just on how to do your website, but how are you going to get you out there? How are you going to brand you and get you out there? Because again, like people don't buy from companies as much as they buy from individuals. They buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? And the purpose, what's the purpose of a website? The purpose hopefully is to get more customers, more clients, more revenue, more attention, right? Well, with the advent of social media, like you mentioned, Periscope. I mean, remember the hearts on Periscope? Like, dude, I almost got to 2 million hearts and then everybody stopped using Periscope. I was like, I wanted 2 million hearts. Like, I want to cash those in someday, But, the irony behind that is you actually can cash those hearts in. And the way you cash them in is you keep doing it. You keep doing you keep pushing, you keep doing these shows, you keep going live, you keep putting out content, you keep putting out information, and that's the unique proposition.
Yeah, giver's gain, right? I mean,
that's it.
The more that you give, the more that you'll get. And, without being weird about it, just being normal, being Ken, being Jack. Don't have to be Grant or anyone else. You just got to be you. And
that's it.
And so I know you spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to help a lot of people. And one of the newest things that you're doing to help people is this WOW Formula private group. How did that come about? And what are you hoping to gain? And what types of folks, would be ideal for this WOW Formula private group in Facebook that you're putting together?
So I went to Miami a few weeks ago to the 10X Growth Con, and Steve Harvey was one of the speakers. And Steve Harvey I didn't know Like I thought, yeah, he's a funny game show host, right? that called the wrong name at the Miss Universe pageant, and But man, when he told his story, dude, I don't know how or why, but he literally just had me captivated. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening. It's like every breath I was taking was hinging on every word he was saying. And he was talking about how, he was homeless and living in his car at one point and for 3 years, and I've been there. I've lived in a couple of different cars. I like the bigger cars. It's easier to stretch out in, but I'm sitting there and I'm listening to him, and he started talking about your gift. You gotta find your gift. And he said, there's people that they try to sing, and you listen to them sing, and right away that is not your gift. That's not your gift, right? That's not your gift, man. Don't do that. Like, go find your gift and then pursue it. And it was an interview style where Grant was interviewing Steve, and Grant's like, well, what if my gift won't make me money? And Steve Harvey said, no. It's written. It's in the Bible. God said it. He said, and if God said it, it's true. And that is, your gift will pay you. It will pay you, and it will pay you well. And the word said that I will make room for your gift. So and so Steve's spouting off all this stuff, and dude, there was a point, I am not kidding you, there was not a dry eye in that audience, including me. Wow. And Grant had a tear running out of the corner of his eye, man. It was so intense. But I'm going to tell you, man, it woke me up. It woke me up to my gift, and my gift is connecting people. Like you told me yesterday, you connected with my good buddy, Dr. McCloy, Doug McCloy, right?
Yeah. What's the name of that? I'm gonna put that in the comments. His.
You asked me too quick.
Well, you can put it later. Just put it in.
Mission of Sight. SIGHT, missionofsight.org. So Doug McCloy is talk about an amazing human being, but that's what I'm talking about in the Sharon Lechter, who, the woman sold over 30 million books. She was on the Presidential Advisory Committee for Financial Literacy for 2 different presidents, and co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. She's an amazing woman. And this woman asked me to be on her podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I couldn't sleep for days. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, how did that happen? Well, she started talking about during the podcast, which she released today. It's on my Facebook page, but she started talking about that I've connected her with some people. And then at the end of the show, she asked me about a couple of people that are clients of mine and friends of mine, other big celebrities. And she said, can you connect me with this? I said, yeah. So 20 minutes later, they're exchanging emails, making arrangements to do this stuff together. And so this friend of mine that was at the thing in Miami, we're sitting out by the pool, smoking cigars, no hate mail. But I was smoking a cigar, and so was another guy. And so us three are sitting around, and he said to me, I said, man, Steve Harvey, man, he's talking about your gift. And I love doing websites, and we do a great job, and you've given me props, and I thank you for that. But that's that. And it's good. It definitely has paid the bills, man. Definitely. And will continue to. But my true gift is really connecting people, man, and helping people figure that out, how to make better connections, deeper connections. And so I'm sitting out by the pool that night, and my buddy goes, dude, I've shaken the hands. And this is a guy that's a millionaire, right? He says, I've shaken the hands of more multimillionaires in the last 2 days than I ever have in my life, and you introduced me to all of them. He's like, not only that, they look up to you and respect you and like you for some reason. And I'm like, Thanks, dude. Wow. So the other guy sitting there, he's very, very successful, $10 million a year company. And he's sitting there and he goes, dude, I've never seen anything like it. Like people, like the way that you network with people, and like you need to monetize that and teach other people how to do that. Well, I have a coaching program and I coach people. It's $5,400 for a 3-month program with me if you want to do it. And there's a lot of people that want to do it but can't afford to do that at $5,400. So I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. There's a lot of people out here, and I've been thinking about these private Facebook groups for a while. I can help thousands of people at $25 a month, thousands in one group. So that's what I'm doing. I'm saying dude, $25 a month to get in this group and learn everything that I know on how to connect with people and technology tips, Instagram tips, Facebook tips. I mean, like you get $25.
No brainer.
10 minutes.
Yeah, no brainer.
Yeah. So
why aren't you signing up? The link's right there, the WOW formula, and then this other guy. So what you're saying is that you figured out a way to connect people that might not have the resources that the $5,400 people do in a private Facebook group. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
You know what's interesting is I have a lot of people in the group that are $5,400. They already paid me for that, but they're all no impact I can have in helping them. And I'm the kind of person, Jack, that I hate even like to say that. It's difficult for me because I don't see myself like that. I just like to help people, but I also like to eat and take care of my family, right? So
absolutely. And you're talking about connecting. You did a video of this guy, Mission of Sight, a guy that was I guess an eye doctor who moved to Jamaica, and we had a conversation the other day, and it's interesting how his exact situation is exactly with some things that I struggle with. So you talk about how you moved back from Las Vegas back to Ohio to be with your family and start some stuff, and then you do a video of this guy, and it touches my heart. And then the next thing I know, I'm having a connection with the guy. He's in Jamaica, I'm here, and the guy literally, has built surgery centers in Jamaica to help people see again. And it's phenomenal. Yeah. You need to. I put the link in the comments. You need to look at this Mission of Sight. What a heart! This guy's definition of success is helping people see. One time he was a party animal. He was in Jamaica. I won't steal all of his story, but he was, let's just say, the party organizer, and not, as you would see him today. And then he met this beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Who got him, deeper in his faith and really his true calling in life, and he has walked away from a lot of stuff that you and I want to go well beyond that. So, you are a connector, Ken, and I'm glad you said that, because so often people think, oh, just a website, when in reality, it's more than just a website. It's something to connect people, instantaneous, have connections, have some things that are very similar. And then if it goes into doing business, so be it. But if it doesn't, then maybe you get some good stuff and some information. So definitely check out that www.thewowformula.com. It's $25. You spend more than that on goofy stuff, just miscellaneous, driving through, killing yourself with donuts or whatever. So, why don't you invest $25 in yourself to start learning some ways to break through life and break through these walls that this man is teaching you. So what else is something you want to orchestrate? I'm glad just to know you as a friend, not only just in business, but you've helped me. You took a website of mine that was very stale and dated and personalized it, and you're challenging me to do things that I'm not comfortable doing. This isn't a comfortable thing for me to interview people, but you've made it in such a way that it is comfortable. So I thank you for that.
Well, dude, thank you for saying that, but you did it. And I gotta tell you, like watching you now compared to the first time, like, dude, it's night and day. Like you're like better. An old pro.
You just get better. And I don't think I've mastered it by any means. And I think the day that you have mastered something is the day that you probably should be put in the ground. I mean, if
Yeah,
you ever stop learning, just
yeah,
take you home,
dude.
right?
I agree. I agree. I mean, look, I think, and when I drove over to I was over at the Zigglers, and then I drove over to New Orleans, and never had been down to, what do you call it? The dirty. I don't even know, man. But like, and you took me down and showed me, like, dude, that is one of my favorite memories in my life, is being down there in is it called the French Quarter?
French Quarter.
Um,
It was
yeah,
nasty.
going down there with you. I mean, some of the driving, we won't, we
Questionable at
won't
times,
talk.
big old truck, but we had fun.
Let me just say, don't be in Jack's way. I'm just kidding. No, but I had a blast. That's one of my favorite memories. And like, dude, I told Sharon Lecter this when I was on her podcast. I said, the fact that I'm on Sharon Lecter's podcast blows my mind. The fact that I can come to New Orleans and I know that if Jack Branch isn't buried and up to his eyeballs, even if you were, I think you'd be like, dude, I'm getting unburied. I'm gonna find you. Let's go do something.
Oh yeah.
Like, that blows me away. I was raised in a really tumultuous, crazy childhood. Bad stuff happened. And I dropped out of high school my senior year. I didn't graduate. I walked out. They said you didn't get a biology credit, and I said I ain't dissecting no dang frogs ever again. What the heck do I need that for? And they're like, apparently you need it to graduate. So I just said, I got stuff to do. But like, and that was something that stuck in my craw for a long time. Like, I thought, I'm a nobody because I didn't get that piece of paper, saying that I graduated. It took me a long time to overcome that. And now today, it's like I realize, like, dude, I've hung out with some big names, big celebrities like Jack Branch, like Grant Cardone. Like, I mean, I've hung out with some big people, right? And today, it's like, man, you know what? Like, the only limitation to whatever it is that anybody on this freaking planet wants to accomplish, it is right there, man. I promise you. I swear to you, no matter what it is, this is the only thing holding you back. That's it. It don't matter if you need money. It'll come if you have the right attitude. It'll come. It does not matter if you need to meet the right person. That'll happen with the right attitude and the right outlook. And so if I were to share one last thing, that is, man, get your mind right, because everything else will follow once you get this right, because you can do anything that you set your mind to. Anything.
Wow, that's good, Ken. I think that's a good way to wrap up. Is really the most important territory is not your community or how you market, but it's the 6 inches between your ears, and whatever you're putting into your mind is going to dictate the next step that you take. And there's a good friend of mine that, man, everything he puts out in the world right now is the government and this and that and the other, and we can all get caught up.
Yeah.
Crap if we allow ourselves to. But
Yep.
believe you me, people already know the country's falling apart. They already know they don't have enough money. They need
Right.
more, and they know they really need the peace that all of
Yeah.
them are looking for. And sometimes they're looking for it in the wrong things, but nonetheless, they have to go down those paths. So, Ken, I really appreciate you taking time today, brother. You have inspired me. You've motivated me, and yet helped me, and most of all, been a friend. And that's what I cherish the most, is just your relational capital and your ability to connect people, like you said. I think that's my gift too. Maybe not near to the level that you are. However, hearing you say that just confirms that so often, we don't have to be the front people. We can connect the people and just sit back and smile and say, look at it all unfolding.
Right. That's it, man.
And so,
and the mindset that you were just talking about, the people that see the negative, And my 8-year-old daughter, she is one of the most positive people I've ever known. But the other night I was saying that, like, you can do anything. And she said, oh yeah? Well, what if I want to fly? And I don't mean like with fake man-made wings on an airplane and all that. I just want to flap my arms and fly. And I go, sure, you could do that. And she goes, so I could go up on top of the roof and jump off and fly. And I go, yes, once. You won't do it twice, but you could definitely do it once, right?
But the mind is a powerful thing, and so often we waste it, and that's kind of what we wrap up today. Is I was talking to a lady last night. She's struggling with her health and, way overweight. And this morning, she says, I just can't afford to do XYZ program. And my answer, deep down was money's never the issue. It's the desire to overcome that really is there. The desire to change has to be greater than the pain that you experience today. Otherwise, you stay where you are. And I think that's the message I want you to hear today after interviewing Ken is if you are in a business and you need to sharpen the sword, join the WOW formula. If you have arrived and you're doing well, just join the WOW formula. I mean, get associated with a bunch of people moving towards success, trying to get optimized, trying to grow, trying to connect beyond just today. And I think if you do, then you're going to notice that your business is going to increase, your confidence is going to increase, and you're going to have more leads than you can even have and deal with. And then you're going to have to hire more staff, which is a great problem. So, Ken, I thank you for your service, your heart. And definitely stay tuned to the next time that we come together on Thursday when I got Meatball, a local realtor that's going to talk to you why the old way of doing real estate is yesterday's news and why he's shaking things up. Ken, God bless you. And thank you for tuning in. And y'all have an awesome Tuesday.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, brother.